on Matty face. The driver just under to take, and then they can see the finish line. Oh, it's gone!
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Speed Without Engine, the place where fast-paced action meets pure fun. Get ready for some sick designs, crazy crashes, and tons of laughs. Let's go.
Party atmosphere today in the pits, and Space Monkey to start us off. Lorenzo Federico performance. Don't forget, it's scored today on performance, on creativity, and of course, today we've got a couple of kickers in quick succession, kicker one and kicker two. Then there's a chicane, and we're starting to lose pieces of Space Monkey already. Look how tight that chicane is. Not great. We've got the seesaw to finish. Through we go. Oh, gone straight into the bales. You can see that you're in complete control of your soapbox, otherwise you're going to catch it like they did there. The wings on the side draw bales everywhere. It was fine over the two kickers, that wasn't a problem. And it's inspired by the 50th anniversary of the Grease movie. A relatively steep gradient as well. It is the kind of course where you can pick up plenty of speed. There's kicker one. Quickly onto kicker two, that's fine. Now let's see as it narrows off whether they can get through it. This chicane is going to catch people out today. Switched on through there, and here's the seesaw, which they treat like another kicker. Around the final bend, underneath the finish, and the stop. And let's have a look at the time, 37.45. If we look at the Red Bull Soapbox Racing, it can be the jumps that cause the problem. But today, I think it's going to be that narrow seesaw, which doesn't come down very much. You tend to take off quite high over that bit. Over the first kicker. It's not very fast, this one, at the moment. It looks narrow enough to get through the tricky part of the chicane. There we go through there. Let me switched on here to be on the right side of the track. Over the seesaw and down towards the finish line. Oh, it's gone on the corner! So near yet so far. Making sure they got round it. And they come to grief within yards of the finish. They will eventually get across the line. But they had speed and they had the finish line in sight. This is where it all comes to grief at the end. So near, and they couldn't quite get there. Glory ready for our yellow submarine. Will it be fab, or won't it? It's a classic soapbox design, with the pram wheels and the wide axle and the suspension. And the back bit's gone. This is where it comes to an end. Bang, straight into the bales. Sliced in half. And all of these teams want to make sure that they do see the finish line in the end. Through the chicane, down towards the seesaw. Lands down with a bump, and that could have been so good, couldn't it? Being on the leaderboard, it's all about getting to the finish, and that's where the back went. That's where we lost part of it, and then we get the little crash to follow quite well, and there we see the seesaw in all its glory as well. That I think I've ever seen. One facing forward, one facing backwards. First thing he's going to encounter is the initial kicker, followed quickly by another one. And they're nice and slow over there, probably because he's got to steer it with a joystick, and he can't miss that. Look at this, watch this. Slightly offline, only slightly offline, and you've got no chance to get it back again. But to try and get that right to the bottom is going to be impossible. And they say they're a group of friends with an irrepressible desire to never grow up. It looks a little bit precarious, though, for the driver, doesn't it? Very tentative towards the kicker. Oh, it's gone! Front wheels have gone, that's it. There's no way you can have wheels of that size taking that kind of weight from that kind of drop. Now, they say they've got zero engineering knowledge, but they've got got the yellow smoke coming out the back, and they're off and running, and they're determined to enjoy it today. Bright pink, low centre of gravity over the kicker is jettisoned. Second kicker completed. It's tight through here. They're smooth through there. Narrow here as well, and they've took a nice line through there, nice and tight on the inside, and there's the seesaw, and they're fine there too. Hold it together under the finish. That's how you do it. but that's a good run. Turn right to go left, and they did very, very well. Really nicely done. There we see them over the final obstacle, the seesaw, and they took that superbly. Mattia is the driver, Giacomo the co-pilot, David and Marco soapbox, although that wide axle at the front would cause me some level of concern. Lots of pieces to it. How many pieces are left on it by the time they get to the bottom, if they get there? They're holding the tail over the kicker. Concentration etched on Mattia's face. The driver just about, oh no, just caught the bail and over. Almost get through here. Watch this, just managing to catch that corner. You'll see it better here. Only just glanced it and then over. Can they be a rare team to actually get from top to bottom? Also looks like it's narrow enough to make a bit of a mockery of the chicane. Nice and strong through there. Well, looks easy to steer this one. Second kicker, no problem. See how this team handle the chicane, and they're quick through there. Good line. This is where it narrows off, and you've got to keep your wits about you. Over the seesaw, that's fine. Easy for them. Oh, they've spun it! I was speaking too soon. I was just about to say, and it's going to add to the tide. It was going to be fast. It was going to be right up there with anything we've seen today on the very final bend. But it's that final corner. You just allow yourself to switch off. You think you've done all the hard work. Find the bails. Here it is. Back end goes round. Too much speed into the corner, and they couldn't make the finish line. They describe themselves, this group, as passionate idiots. And they competed in the Red Bull Soapbox Races. And a big smile on the face of the driver, Mussolente, Luca Stefano and Andrea, making up the rest of the team. And they got a bit of air over the second kicker, which was impressive. Now, is it going to be too wide to get through the chicane? No, just about. Make sure you're switched on for that bit. No problem there with the seesaw. Final turn. Oh, they're under. That's really good. Really good. 38.98. We've seen quicker ones than that. A little bit of a nod there on landing, but that was good. So you see a soapbox with handlebars handled like that. They're from Sardinia, and they've decided on the chicken because they say, some might say chickens can't fly because they don't need to. Now it's all about getting down to the finish, quick and in one piece, and this has the potential to be, as the guys said, and they're through the first obstacle, the initial kicker. Here's the second kicker, and they're fine there. Christian in control at the moment, gliding through the chicane. Then it'll be the big sweeping corner to finish. No problem with the seesaw. Round that left-hand bend and under the finish line, and let's have a look at it. 42.85, with good creativity, good performance score as well, and that's good all round. You just wonder whether they're quite quick enough, and the kind of steering system that can be an issue with handlebars, so everything, it seems, is stacked against them. Second kicker coming up, and then they've got the chicane, and they're very slow. They can't even get over it. What's happened? Give them a push. Oh, it's stuck. It's got stuck. Can they keep... How on earth are they going to get this one round the chicane? God, drag it along. Whole team working here to try and get Techno-bull cart down this course. Back wheels are starting to buckle. Look at the back wheels gone on the right. He's nearly tripped over. Oh, he's gone. The pilot's gone. Correctly for a course like this. So much stress on the soapboxes when they start going over the obstacles on flat surfaces, and as soon as they go over the obstacles, they can't make it. They get to the finish anyway. The chicane could be the issue. If they get through there, I think they'll be all right. Kicker's no problem. Nor is the second kicker. So it's holding together well, despite the fact the back's come open, in exactly the right position. There's not a great deal of room for them, and they've done it brilliantly. Now then the big sweeping turn, and then the finish line. It's good. It's been really good up to now. They've just got to keep the speed on. Now they're nearly there, under it. Let's have a look at the time. 102.07. Things gone well, but is that going to be fast enough in the final reckoning? It's one of the first times we've actually seen the seesaw go down on the other side because of how heavy that soapbox is. Here's the first kicker, all about the strength of it. Yep, fine over that one. Axel looks nice and strong at the back, albeit wide. Cruises over the second kicker with the smoke billowing out from behind. Building speed all the time, heading down towards the seesaw. Crowd cheering them on in San Marino today. Wonderfully sunny day. Over the seesaw we go. Lands on the back wheel. there's the finish. Really, really good. Very good run all round. Well-designed soapbox. Handled the very, very good. And with scores like that, you need a quick run. It's wide, though, this. This is going to be a problem, I think. Two sat side by side, handlebar steering, not the best in terms of what they've got to get. Oh, they've hit that! Too wide for the kicker, let alone the chicane, and they've got to redo the wheel. Look at the front. Look at the state of the wheel, the one on the left. Here's the chicane. Surely they can't get through there. Oh, they can. They've proven me wrong there. That's brilliant. How on earth? Here's the seesaw. Over that, now they've got the big sweeping turn and they'll be at the finish. Here we go, around that final left-hand turn, under the finish line. It's all about the taking part today. That's been the attitude of all of the teams. This is where it went wrong. Gave it a right whack. 10 out of 10 for effort and 10 out of 10 for actually getting to the finish. Small wheels, wide soapbox. Some of these teams never learn. If that starts to wobble, they might be blinded. Over the first kicker then, still in one piece. Still concerned about the wheels. Here's the chicane, that's a concern as well. Well, there's the roof gone, that helps. Not further than I thought they might. Over the seesaw and down, oh, the wheel's gone. It was strong enough for this one. Watch the front right wheel, it's bent underneath, look, and that's where it's gone. Is white asparagus dipped in a sauce of hard-boiled eggs. For those of you out there who want to know what it is. It's interesting to look at, isn't it? Right. Over the kicker. Oh, three wheels, front one's gone. The front one's gone. Here we go, look, front wheel, too much weight, bang. They're a team who love to party. They say they're full of spicy ideas and they think it's going to make a mockery of the obstacles as well. Here's the first test and it bounces there. Very, very easy. A lot of give in the middle. There we see it again. No problem. Through the chicane, they're starting to celebrate. Need a good time. Left and a right through there. Moving down towards the seesaw. They're over the seesaw. Underneath we go. Let's have a look at the time. 44.7. Done very, very well there to finish things off in San Marino today. Nice and strong, and it handled superbly.